time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living in different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me, keep on running toes. They gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters, to another episode of In the Red Corner. And as you can see, we all here have on hoodies, and we're letting you know that it is hoodie season. It's after Valentine's Day, so if you didn't catch those sales, then you already know what it is. It's also tax season, so the refunds is coming around too. So we're gonna need a little bit of that refund money over here in the Red Corner. So make sure you subscribe, like, share, and hit us up for our cash apps. But outside of that, we here to talk some boxing. We got a special guest that's joining us today. We got a lot of news that's happening in boxing. We got some historical moments that's happening in boxing. We got a lot of people calling some people bipolar, but we'll talk about that maybe another day. Fellas, Ricky, Ty, how y'all doing?
Doing good. Tom OX, I'm ready to talk boxing.
Doing great here, so yeah, we ready to talk boxing too.
Okay. Well, everyone that's already here, they already know who we are. But like I said, we do have a special guest. You do see the rundown that we're going to talk about today. So we definitely need a special guest for this one. We also know Ricky likes to hire people to talk about us in the comments, but we're going to talk about that off there too. So we're going to bring up an active member in our boxing chat. He also has a podcast of his own. We're going to bring up the Puncher's Point. Let me get these cameras ready.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Right. So I called you by your Instagram name, but it's Mario from the Puncher's Point.
Mario. Yeah, you get it right.
Okay. So welcome, Mario.
Appreciate it. Glad to be back on Refuse to Lose. I think this is my second appearance, so always a fun time.
All right. Well, with that being said, I hope you're ready, because these two guys here, they're going to take you for a doozy.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Well, let's get right to it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to dive into some recaps from the Red Corner. So off rip, we got to talk about the greatest women boxer that Ricky's ever seen in his lifetime, Claressa Shields versus Danielle Perkins. And we already know Claressa Shields made history on February 3rd, opening up Black History Month by saying, "I'm the baddest of them all." She walked up with the mink coat. That wasn't her. That was Lou Young with the mink coat. But I'm just saying, the Timbs, she got her Timbs tied right. But becoming the first ever undisputed heavyweight boxing champion in women's boxing. Ricky, because this is... No. We got to guess. Sorry, Ricky. You go last.
Yeah.
Mario, tell us what you thought about that fight.
I mean, at this point, I just feel like anything that Claressa Shields does, she just basically confirms that she is the GOAT, the greatest woman of all time. Obviously, there's the whole debate between her and Layla Ali. Obviously, that's for a different time. But as far as this fight in itself, overall, I mean, Claressa Shields, she had a great performance. I think this is the best that Claressa Shields has looked in heavyweight than all the other divisions. So when she was in like the middleweight division and stuff like that, I feel like she was a good boxer, but the power, I just feel like wasn't translating. It wasn't there. And then obviously when she went to heavyweight, you know, you had the second round knockout of Vanessa LePage, and then you have this dominant win over Danielle Perkins. If she almost had a knockout with those last 10 seconds, I mean, I don't think I've seen a more beautiful punch in boxing than the one I saw against Danielle Perkins. The fact that Danielle Perkins didn't get knocked out from that itself is a miracle, because that was as perfect can get. So overall, I really did. I thought Claressa Shields had an amazing performance. A little bit, some like minor flaws. I feel like she tried to look for that right hand a little too much. To me, that was a big flaw right there. It just seemed like she was trying to find that left right hand. She was just constantly spamming that button to try to hit it. And overall, I mean, I would have liked to see a little bit more versatility as far as like punch wise, but I thought Clarissa Shields had a very good performance.
Okay, Ty.
I think she had a great performance, definitely with one arm, because she said she had a bad shoulder. Just actually go into that fight knowing you have a bad shoulder and still take the fight and win like she did. Yeah, she definitely is the GOAT. It's hard to see her get beat by anybody at heavyweight. So yeah, I think she's gonna be the GOAT for a long time. I don't think anybody's gonna actually catch her in that. The only person that could probably has a chance would be Fundora, because she's young, so she has a chance. But other than that, I don't see anybody having a chance to get anything close to her.
Ricky.
Yeah, she's definitely the GOAT. This was a good performance by her. It was definitely she just was too fast for her, too fast for Perkins, too strong for Perkins. And I do agree with Mario said. She was definitely spamming that, looking for that right, but the thing is that right just kept landing at the perfect times. And I think it's really nothing else to say, man. The greatest woman in boxing right now. And my question to y'all is, man, who can beat her? Who can beat her at this point? Can we even get some nominees going?
So Ty said Fundora. I don't know what weight class Remy Ma would come in, so I don't know. She might got a chance. She might got something to fight for. But Ty, you said somebody backstage.
Raquel Miller.
That would be. What'd you say?
I said, what y'all think about that?
Yeah, that I see that could be a good fight, but I don't know. Raquel kind of remind me of Perkins, so it might be the same type of fight.
She got more experience and more power, so I think she probably be a little bit better than Perkins.
But another thing I would say, if y'all remember too, man, Clarissa definitely has some power because Perkins did not want to get in there and get countered. She was too scared to get countered.
Yeah.
And another thing is that when it's time for that dog fight, like when they was in the trenches with it, she was just too quick, too fast. Perkins was just too slow. I can just see the same thing happen with Raquel.
I want to throw out one thing because Mario said it was one of the prettiest punches that he's seen in boxing. Now, to me, that looked like almost Tank-esque. It was with a right. Because I seen another person from Detroit go down off of that same 1-2 combo. Now, I'm just saying, it's one of the prettiest, but let's just say it's one of the nicest punches. Because to me, if it was like 1-2, she dropped to her knees. I guess it's because of the height. She was a little bit shorter. She probably would have knocked her out completely. But the height is probably what gave her a little bit. She fell to her knees and said, Lord, I got to get back up. Fight over. Saved by the bell. But I agree with y'all. I think it's a unanimous decision outside of the fight that she is the GOAT as of right now. Somebody's coming.
Who?
We'll see. I mean, Fundora. We voted Fundora. I think she was.
What weight class would that be in though?
They're not fighting each other. They're not gonna fight each other. Nah.
No. I'm just. I don't think they're gonna fight each other. But somebody has to come. There was a GOAT before her.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
So there has to be another. I ain't saying it's gonna be soon, but there has to be another.
Yeah, I don't know. She might. I don't know. I can't see her getting beat by nobody that I know of right now in my head.
Yeah, and I mean, you got some like candidates. I mean, you got some people that can like give her somewhat of a run for her money. You got people like Serrano, Amanda Serrano. I mean, we're talking about 7-division champion. Katie Taylor is always up there. Fundora is going to have a bright future, so she's definitely going to be on that list as well. But I mean, what Clarissa Shields has done for women's boxing, it's something I don't think is going to be replicated ever again. Really, to be honest, you think about like the impact. I mean, her and Layla Ali are the only two. When you really think about it, as far as like when you think of women's boxing, it's those two's names first. So it's going to be a long time till we see somebody who is going to even have that same impact for women's boxing. I mean, Layla Ali, she was great. Don't get me wrong, but having the last name Ali does you tons of favors. Now, I'm not saying she didn't live up to it. 1,000% Layla Ali lived up to it, but Clarissa Shields, I mean, she molded that name by herself. There wasn't no boxing champion named Shields before her that she could be related to or whatever. She had to mold her name herself. She had to build her own story to make it a movie and to put it on to the big screen itself. So it's going to be hard to find somebody with that type of impact.
Okay, before we move on, I know she always brings it up. If they were to fight her and Layla, who you think wins?
Give me Layla. Give me Layla.
Why?
And look,
why?
It's no slate against Clarissa Shields. I do think Clarissa Shields is the greatest women's boxer of all time. But you put them one-on-one, I think Layla A was too strong. I mean, she was 20. I believe it was 24-0. She definitely had over 50% knockout percentage. I could be wrong. Somebody in the I know this is live. Somebody in the comments, please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe she had 21 knockouts or something crazy like that. It was. I would like somebody look that up for me. Critique me if I'm wrong, but I know Layla Ali. She had a bunch of knockouts on her record. That's for one thing. The other thing too, I just think Layla Ali was just a more pure boxer, in my opinion. I feel like she could have definitely gave Clarissa Shields. She could have showed her a bunch of different looks. But then on the other hand, the other debate to that is the competition at that time wasn't even equaled to what Clarissa Shields went up against now. But at the same time, Clarissa Shields' competition, some of those opponents are a little bit questionable. You know, some of those opponents, like, you know, she could have fought them too early. A perfect example would be Cruz Dezern. Cruz Dezern, I mean, she's made a name for herself right now, but when she fought her, Cruz Dezern wasn't like anybody. She didn't have the background that she has now. So, I mean, there's a lot of arguments for the goal, and it would be a very, very entertaining fight. But I say if you put them in their primes together, one-on-one, I think Layla Ali would come out with the win. If you're talking about now, it's too Layla Ali's her prime is past. So I don't think it's a good idea now, but in their prime, I would have given.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking now. I wasn't even thinking about prime.
Yeah, why would I say now? Why would I say now?
I don't know.
I was thinking, like, what?
Why would I say now? That's like Tyson. That's like Mike Tyson fighting. Nobody want to see that fight.
And they prime though.
But hold on, before you answer that, Layla had 24 wins, 21 knockouts.
Okay, good. I got it right. I didn't look like a fool.
Nah, I got you.
Oh, and they prime. Yeah, I might gotta go with Layla too.
But what?
But whoa!
Come on, Ty.
Best you ever seen.
Come on, Ty. I ain't even gotta say it.
I don't know. I can't. I'm not gonna stand it. Hold on. That takes a lot of thought process for me. That's too much for one episode right now. So I need to go ahead and I'm not gonna even do it. Not even gonna give you an answer.
I'm taking Layla.
Well, when Ricky first said it on air, I was like, "You sure?" I'm like, "We kind of the same age. You sure she the greatest you've ever seen?" But okay, we don't want to hit you with another body shot, Ricky. So we're gonna move on to the next fight, man. While you get your thoughts together, man. We're gonna let you recap, man. Because just like this guy, man, you got hit with a body shot in that last segment, man. Because Keyshawn, oh my goodness, Keyshawn is finding ways to make people upset, but also keep his name on the map with another victory. He wins by KO. We should have said technical knockout because technically that guy shouldn't have even got up after the first body shot. But for the WBO lightweight title, Keyshawn is now 13-0 with 9 KOs. He claimed it. Ty, this your boy. Well, this your camp. Tell us about this fight.
That fight, he did better than I was going to do. I didn't think it was going to knock him out because Dennis, it's hard to knock down, hard to knock out. So I didn't know if he had that kind of power to knock him out. But when he went to those body shots and I saw those body shots, I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be in trouble. Definitely that last liver shot. There's no way he's getting out after that. But one thing about Keyshawn, I think Keyshawn is very inspiring because I think he is. He's very inspiring because he cut his hair. I said, you know what? I'm coming out here just like him. So very inspiring.
Hey, yo.
That is one of the things I definitely noticed. I said something different about him.
I said,
shout out to Ty, man. I told you he was in the camp, man. He was in the camp. Ty already locked in. Ricky, tell me about this fight. I think it fits
Ty better than Keyshawn. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I agree.
I agree. But no, definitely, this fight if I had to put a title on it, I'd say short and sweet. Pause. But the Keyshawn, when he gave that first was it left hook to the liver shot, the first one, I was like, oh, the fight over. Because at that point he had downloaded, I felt like he downloaded Dennis tempo. Cause he was running around, he was very active like a jackrabbit, in and out, but it was kind of slow at the same time. So I think he just basically downloaded his rhythm and was able to, once he hit him with the first body shot, he probably must have squealed or something because he knew to keep hitting the body. And this fight was just one sided and short and sweet. Now my question to myself or to everybody is just like, who do Keyshawn fight after this?
So before we answer that, we'll get Mario's recap.
Yeah, the way I looked at it, I said on my podcast, Keyshawn went in there and he just big brothered Berinchyk. It's just the way it worked. He basically, and you could tell it wasn't even just like the punches that he was throwing. I said that Berinchyk was throwing punches to land points. Keyshawn was throwing punches to get him out of there, and that was the difference. You see Berinchyk, he would land a punch, but had no effect because it looked like he was just looking to touch him up, get some points, try to win off of points, and Keyshawn wasn't having it. But you can also look at the instances where they would clinch and Keyshawn would pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
It's tiny things like that, like you look at, and that's called big brothering an opponent. You're gonna let him know, like every single time you do this, I'm going to humble you real quick, and that's what Keyshawn did. You know what I mean? And I gotta give Keyshawn a lot of credit because I thought Berinchyk was gonna give him a fight because the whole question was, well, he beat Navarrete, but Navarrete he was injured, and Navarrete said that he hurt his he had I think it was his left shoulder or his left hand, something like that. But Navarrete had an injury. And after Navarrete beat Valdez, he said the injury was what stopped him from, becoming a champion at 135. So the question was, well, can Berinchyk be a fully healthy Keyshawn Davis? And I mean, it just wasn't. Keyshawn was there to big brother him. He was there to bully him. He was there to make sure that every punch had impact. The straight to the body was always working before, obviously, the liver shots and everything like that. I think he moved a lot better than Berinchyk. Berinchyk tried to do that thing where he moves around Keyshawn like a shark, and it worked a tiny bit, but it didn't have too much success or the success that I thought it would. So Keyshawn just went in there, had a perfect game plan. Shout out to now I'm having a brain fart. But shout out to Bomac. Shout out to Bomac, one of the best trainers in the game. He had an amazing game plan in beating Berinchyk, and Keyshawn Davis can call himself a world champion.
Yeah, after 14 fights, Ricky, after that first liver shot, he did squeal a little bit. If you go back and watch the replay, he kind of stood up and grabbed his shorts and was like, this is going to be a long night.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with Mario, too. I think after that one, that's when he was like, all right, let me just get the points and see if I can make it out of this fight. But again, with a young guy like Keyshawn and the names of people that he keeps calling out, he's going for blood after that. Again, if you're calling out guys like Tank, you got to go for blood in fights like those because he ain't nothing like his friend. But we'll talk about his friend later. So to me, for him to get this in 14, he has earned the right to start calling people out now because he's like, look, I got a belt. You got to come see me. I mean, outside of the fight being on ESPN and what Tom will think about ESPN fights and how I feel about Top Rank, I'm just saying. No, that's PBC. That was PBC, right, Ty?
Nah, Top Rank.
Top Rank. Okay, I just want to make sure we was on the same page with that one. Okay, so yeah, outside of that one, Keyshawn definitely is earning the right to talk the trash that he's talking, man. And shout out to his camp, Bomac, another one. Not just one fighter. You got two now.
Yeah,
people know about.
If you want to be technical, technically three, because he revived Chris Eubanks.
Yep, that's true.
So,
that's true.
Hey, Bomac, coach, trainer of the year. I mean, that guy, his streak right now is insane.
Nah, and his fighters don't tire out. His fighters are very sharp. I wish I can be in that camp. I swear I want to go to that camp this one time. But
sure?
Yeah, I'm be in the mountains.
You might not make it back.
Well, I don't mind dying in the mountains. That's fine.
All right.
That's fine.
Go ahead. What was your question?
Nah, I was gonna say. So, who should Keyshawn fight next? Though, we already know one of the belts they're not going to be unified, but there are other people that can be. Well, maybe two of the belts that might not be unified, but there are other people that he can fight right now. So, I'm gonna just draw three names. I'm gonna say Zebra, Tank, and I know this guy. We don't know what this guy's doing, but again, he's the only one I know that has a belt, the other belt, and that's Loma. So who do you get? How do you? What order would y'all see him fighting, or if you have somebody else you want to add to the list, who else do y'all see him fighting?
I'm gonna take Loma off because I think he done.
If you're not fighting for a belt, like if you're not fighting Tank or for a belt, because you know you're not fighting Shakur, so if you're not fighting Tank. If Loma retires, I think that him and Mortai should fight for Loma's belt. That's what I think should happen. Because Mortai, I think he deserves a chance for a belt also. So I think that's only if you're not fighting for a belt, that's the only person I see him fighting. Because other than that, who really deserves a belt right now?
Yeah, I like Murtalia, and when I was discussing it, when I did the post-fight episode for this show on my podcast, I said, when you look at that division, you look at the champions. I mean, him and Shakur, they had that little teaser where they did the face-off, but those two are just too good of friends, I think, to even unify those belts. So I kind of crossed that one off my list. Tank Davis ain't fighting him, that's for sure. I don't know what Tank's plans are at this point, but I know that's not going to be in it. Lomachenko, I would like to see that fight. Now, I don't think Loma's done yet. I would like to see what he does in 2025. I know he took 2024 off because he said he wanted to spend it with his family. So I took his word on that. Now it's 2025. We got to see Loma back in this ring. You know, he is a champion. He's got to fight somebody. So why not, Keyshawn? You got them in the same brand. But if it's not for a belt, I want Navarrete to get another shot. Because you're talking about two guys under the top rank belt, and I've said it millions of times. Unless they're pairing up with Turkey and Riyadh season, you're not going to see top rank go 1-on-1 too often with anybody from Matchroom or Premier Boxing Champions. So you got to be realistic. In my opinion, Navarrete fought for a belt. Again, hurt his left arm or his left shoulder. It was hurt. So he was basically fighting with one arm out there against Berinchyk. Now, a lot of people come up with those types of excuses, but after seeing what Navarrete did to Valdez, I believe him. I believe that definitely was something that was holding him back. I would love to see Navarrete go back up to 135 and fight Keyshawn. And the reason why is because I think in order to beat Keyshawn, it's going to take somebody with power. And it's going to take somebody with some type of boxing ability and power to beat him. And even though Navarrete, a lot of people like complain about his defense, how he doesn't have the best defense and everything like that. But overall, Navarrete will pressure you. Navarrete will counterpunch you. Navarrete will make it a dogfight with you. And I want to see what Keyshawn does against somebody who will really make it a dogfight against him. Somebody who's not going to stop throwing punches. Somebody who's going to constantly bring pressure to Keyshawn Davis. Because one of his weaknesses, I said, is if you push him back and you get him up against those ropes, you could possibly get some success against him. I want to see what Navarrete does against him. And I want to see if Keyshawn Davis's boxing ability is too much for Navarrete. Because at this point, Keyshawn Davis, to me, he needs one more dominant fight to prove to me that he is one of the elites of the elites. I still have him in that B level for the 135 pounders. If you take the three that we got so far, Tank, Loma, Shakur has already had his legacy built. I mean, he's already did what he did at 130. He goes to 135. So I think Shakur is a 3-division champion. I could be wrong. I think he's 3 division. It's 2 or 3 division. But either way, he's a multi-time division champion. Tank Davis, 3-division champion. Lomachenko, he's had his legacy and his success. Keyshawn is the only one without a legacy. So I think he still needs that one dominant fight. And if you go in there and you knock out Navarrete, that's it. That's it. We can't say nothing else. So then it's time for you to fight those A-level fighters. But if he's not going to get a championship shot or a unification bout, Navarrete would be my top choice. I think that's the most realistic yet most exciting fight you can make for Keyshawn Davis if it's not for a world title.
I agree with you. I think Navarrete, that would be a good fight, but I still will take Keyshawn in that. And then also, I think him making a mark on 135 the way we want or the way you describe, I don't think it's going to happen until he move up. 135 is too much. It's too much going on at 135, especially when you got too many friends. So I think it's only best for him to go up to get that type of fight and like fight like a Valenzuela. Yeah, Tio. No, I got him beating Tio, but I got like a Valenzuela. Maybe Hitchens. Hitchens might give him some go. I could say Hitchens and give him some go.
You got
So
Keyshawn beating Tio.
yeah, I got Keyshawn beating T.O.
That's a hot take for me right there. Look, I ain't like it what Tio be doing and stuff like that. I don't like the way he's moving, but as a boxer, Tio kind of different when it's those big fights. I don't know. That's a good fight though. I mean, they got the little history and make a good build up and everything like that. But if he does move to 140, that's a fight that I could definitely see Keyshawn trying to chase after.
And I see reason I say that because Keyshawn stay active, and I know especially being in Bomax camp or whatever, he's probably gonna always be more conditioned than him. But T.O., you don't see him active as much, in my opinion, as everybody else, like he should be, especially if you have a belt.
So
And he been in that division, and he hasn't unified anything. What's going on? He has too much opportunity to unify or do anything else, but he's not doing it.
So let me pose this one because you already threw out the option of him moving up to 140. Let's say Loma comes back. Loma gives him that shot. All right. You think it goes 12 or somebody getting knocked out?
12.
And if it goes 12, you got Keyshawn?
Ooh. It depends what Loma shows up. To be honest, it depends which Loma show up.
The one that beat Devin?
The one that lost to Devin.
I said beat Devin.
You beat Devin.
You won that fight, but go ahead.
Oh man. See, you can't say that because he started too late. He got on too late, in my opinion. So
it's not a roller coaster. You can get on at any time.
See, but I definitely think that's gonna go 12. I think I'm gonna say Keyshawn. But it really depends on which Loma shows up. But I'm gonna say Keyshawn right now.
If Loma comes back and fights Keyshawn after being out, I don't know how long he been out, I got Keyshawn winning.
That's what I was about to say. I see where you was trying to go, Ricky. You was giving us the political answer saying which Loma shows up, but it has been a year.
Yeah.
Like it's been a while.
I don't even know who wins that fight, to be honest with you, because he fought Devin. Devin didn't have the power, I don't think, to really like test Loma. So Loma kind of tested him a little bit. In my opinion, I had that 7-5 Loma. I had Loma winning that fight 7-5. Breezy, my former co-host, he had it 7-5 Haney. So overall, it's a 7-5 either way you put it. I mean, I couldn't see it going anywhere 7-5. I couldn't see it going 8 rounds to 4 or anything past that. So it all depends on how you view it. And I've seen Loma go up against guys who are like power punchers like George Kambosos, but George Kambosos didn't have the boxing ability to match with Loma. Keyshawn has the boxing ability and the power to test Loma. The question is, hey, look, I call him Old Ma because he's getting old, but look, hey, let me tell you something about Old Ma. Old Ma right now, he in his prime. I mean, this is the best I've seen Loma look because he still has that offense ability, but he's not getting dropped like he did when he was young.
Yeah,
he's not getting caught with the same crap that he was when he was getting young. So, I mean, Loma right now, he say what you want about him. He's hot. He's hot right now. Like even that loss to Devin Haney, that proved that he still got it. You know what I'm saying? He was the first one to crack some flaws in Devin Haney's game, to crack some real flaws in Devin Haney's game, not just a moment, but real flaws. So I could see him cracking. If he don't win against Keyshawn, here's my guarantee. He goes into that fight with Keyshawn, he will crack holes in his game. He will crack those holes very easily. Keyshawn's gonna be in for a dogfight. Put it that way.
So now that you're saying this, and I know we about to go into our random discussion segment. So now, because now I think about it, he did do that to Devin. I do agree with you that he will do it to Keyshawn. I also think he would have did that to Tank too. I have Tank winning that fight, but I think he would have did that to Tank too. He would have tested Tank.
So at first, this was a few years back, I didn't think I always was gonna say Loma would be Tank because he knew how to deal with people with power. But right now, I don't know about that one. I might have to say Tank side.
I just agree with the whole finding the chinks in the armor because I think what happens is once Loma goes in there, he finds that chink in their armor. The next person that they fight, who was next after Haney? Who did Haney fight after that? It was
He won up, didn't he?
He won that one. He won that easily too.
It was Regis, right? Yeah, he learned his lesson with Regis. I mean, he learned his lesson from Loma and fought Regis more seriously, and then the Ryan situation happened.
Yeah. So, I don't think Regis had I like Regis. I don't think he had the tools to even further crack those holes. Like the holes that Devin Haney was showing, like, you know, overextending the jab and everything like that. Regis just didn't have the game to even further expose it. So Devin went in there and dominated him. But then when Ryan, somebody who like had some crack in his punch and somebody who was improving his boxing with Derek James, that ended up really exposing, you know, the problem with Devin Haney.
See, now we're gonna talk about.
Ain't gonna lie, he said improving his boxing. I ain't see no improvement. It just Devin got caught.
That was improvement.
No, that was just that's probably him downloading Devin since the amateurs.
Hey, well, I mean, we'll get a chance to see the rematch at some point because both of these guys keep talking about it and the money's out there. But we got to talk about another one of your favorite fighters, Ricky, because we're going into the random discussions from In the Red Corner. So, will Canelo versus Bud do more than Jake Paul versus Tyson fight? And when we say that, we mean as far as the viewership, the attendance, the box office.
So I'm gonna say no, but I think it would do more as far as real boxing fans be coming in for attendance. Real boxing fans, coming in to watch that fight. But Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, they more get different. They get viewers, like they get more of the casuals. So the people who watch boxing here and there just come for the name. So I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna have to agree with Ricky. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no because like he said, they got casual fans of Jake. But then also, I don't think that Canelo and Bud gonna do a free fight on Netflix.
Oh, that too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's a strong point.
And that's because it's real boxing.
Yeah. So
they have real boxing on the undercard.
Nah, not the main event. I'm talking about the main event. They're the main event.
They reeled you in with the real boxing, and then the main event was the exhibition. So you ain't gonna get no real undercard with a fake fight. I agree with what Ty was saying, but Mario.
Well, before I start, Ricky, I didn't know your favorite boxer was Jake Paul. That's insane, man. Like crazy. I'm
learn a lot.
So when they originally, correct me if I'm wrong, but when they originally started talking about that fight between Canelo and Bud, they said that it was going to take place at the T-Mobile Arena. That has a big part to do with it because you guys know as much as me. I mean, it's just common sense. An arena does not fill up nearly as good as a stadium does. Mm-hmm. So just that part alone, it wouldn't do attendance numbers. You and Bud and Canelo should not be in an arena. That should be in a stadium. I don't care where you put it. I don't care if you want to put it in like one of the soccer stadiums in Mexico. I don't care if you want to put it in Allegiant Stadium. If you were talking about having it in Vegas, I don't know where you want to. That fight should happen in a stadium. Now, if it did happen into a stadium, which it's probably not, but if it did, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it does better ratings. I think it does better ratings, and I think it will do better attendance because Canelo. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I work with at one of my jobs. I work with 2 Spanish girls. They don't watch boxing one bit. But I asked them because everybody told me, because I seen the videos of Canelo when he goes to Mexico and everybody's like praising him and everything like that. And I've heard like they treat Canelo like a king. So I asked them, I was like, they don't watch boxing at all. I asked them, I go, do you know who Canelo Alvarez is? Now, the first thing they told me was, he's fine. He's a good looking man. That I gotta like, you know, that's the women's view right there. I can't comment on that. But the second thing that they said was, I asked them, I was like, is he really treated like a king over there? They said, you have no idea. So you're telling me that they treat Canelo in Mexico like they treat Messi in Argentina. Put it that way. Like they will die for that man. So with the way I see it, you take the whole like Mexican Hispanic culture, and then you go to Bud. And now with Bud, you talk about like the whole culture that's going on with him. There's Tank and there's Bud. Those are the two right there when you're talking about like hip hop culture, like the black culture, everything like that. A lot of people that are coming into boxing, Tank and Bud. Those are the two. And I was talking to Breezy about it. I was like, oh, I think Tank is like head and shoulders above all of them when you're talking about impact. And he was like, Bud, he goes for the South, Bud is like, Bud is that guy. So
Yeah.
When you really look at it, you just take the cultures in itself and you put that out there. Canelo and Bud, I think, would do a very well, very, very good ratings. A lot better than what people think, just because of the culture alone. So I would say all of it in itself, if you put it in the stadium and you build it good enough, and you do like the world tour, kind of like what Floyd and Conor McGregor were doing when they were going to Canada and they were going to US and they were going to Ireland. You do that little world tour, Canelo and Bud are gonna eat it up.
I almost forgot where I was at. I was about to do the McGregor impersonation, but I forgot he was doing a lot of cussing, so I caught myself. But nah, me and Mario, I think that's why we on the end of the spectrum right here, because I agree with you. I think it will do numbers. I understand what y'all saying about the Netflix and how it pulled in a random person, but again, the everyday common person who's on Netflix, they seen it was live and probably went right to watching Love is Blind season 7 or something. It was like, I don't care about boxing. But again, you have kids that watch Jake Paul, so that's probably why I pulled it in on the TikTok side. But sitting here, we're in the red corner. We already know the fight's not happening in Mexico because of the bad fish in Tijuana. Ricky, you know about that. But it definitely would happen in Vegas, right? And because of what he said about Bud's pull, everyone who's seen Bud beat up on Earl 2-3 years ago, they still got that memory in their brain. And then if you bring up Canelo's name, you think of DAZN, however you want to pronounce it, but he has that appeal there. So they're like, wait, for the common person who really doesn't know too much about Canelo, if you say his name to maybe your grandmother or your uncle who really doesn't watch boxing, they're like, the dude that Floyd fought, he fighting Bud? You talking about Bud that beat up on Earl? I'm tuning in because I got to see this. Because you telling me if Canelo is the baddest man in boxing and you telling me that Bud is supposed to be the baddest man in boxing, this is one of the biggest fights we going to have to date outside of when him and Earl fought, because it finally happened. But this would be one of the biggest fights to date. And they definitely would sell it because they got Turkey in their back pocket too. So he going to find a way to promote it as well. So I think it would do bigger numbers than Jake Paul and Tyson. And you ain't got to worry about the streaming messing up. Ain't that right, Zach?
Yeah, and not for nothing though, too, but like you gotta go back and look at like Pacquiao and Floyd, how their legacies were already established, and when they had that fight. And a lot of people say it should have happened in 2010, but that fight in 2010 would have not done nearly the amount of numbers that it did in 2015, just because those two were already two established Hall of Famers. Yeah. If we're looking at it right now, Bud and Canelo are gonna go into the Boxing Hall of Fame first ballot. Like there's no doubt about it. Slice it any way you want to, those two are going into this. So they're already well-known names. You know, Crawford and Bud, Crawford versus Spence, that was our fight of the decade right there. Canelo Alvarez, I mean, the pull that he has is insane. So just their legacies alone, I feel like would bring in so many people.
Okay, so that we break even.
Yeah, I still don't agree, but yeah.
See, this is what happened when you get 4 people on here. Now Ricky and Ty got to agree with each other. See, this normally wouldn't happen. You know,
Mario done did something that never happened. You guys to agree on something. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I think you all would agree on this one too, because we got to talk about the fight that we all were waiting to see, but then we get news that it's now canceled. So you Ty start smiling. So we got to ask, man, what happened to that kid?
Ty?
Kid Austin versus Shakur. It got canceled. So we come to find out, man, scheduled for this weekend.
We'll snack that to him.
So Ty, this is you. We gonna tee it up with you, man. What happened?
What happened? Okay, I'm a fan of both fighters.
Hold on. Let me do this. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me set out a warning first, because he is in the hospital. So
yeah,
regardless, we want him to get well.
Yeah, I know.
Now go ahead, Ty.
I'm a fan of both boxers. So my Shakur fan side says, yo, this is a duck. Yo, he's scared. But then my kid Austin side is like, yo, like, would he really do this? I don't know. But then my boxing fan side says, yo, this is kind of suspect. Because one, he didn't show up to the whatever they call the pre-fight thing they had. He didn't show up to that. Had a weird excuse. And then somehow he gets sick. The day before they supposed to get weighed, he gets sick. So it's kind of suspect. But if he really is sick, hope he gets better. But I was looking forward to this fight because I wanted to see Shakur get his next knockout. He had a knockout since Yoshino, whatever the name is. I can't remember. Yoshino. He hadn't have a knockout since him. So I want to see him get another knockout. So y'all can stop saying He got soft hands. He can't knock him out.
He said that.
So I just want to see him get his knockout. So now we got to fight some random dude that beat Chamberlain, who to me is overrated. So I think he'll easily win this fight, but I was looking forward to that fight.
Get his first knockout. Mario?
Well, first, I do want to say I hope Kid Austin gets better. In a way, it is kind of sus. I'm not going to lie to you, because wasn't it a day ago they were all in the ring together? Shakur, Kid, Parker, Dubois, all of them were in the ring together, and Kid Austin looked fine. And then all of a sudden this happens. Now, I said in the chat, from now on, boxing needs to start being treated like school. If you were sick, you can't. You sent that doctor's note in, and that doctor's note excused you. They don't even got like a doctor's note. But then all of a sudden, his father shows the picture of him in like the hospital bed with like a bunch of tubes and a bunch of needles and all that crap on him. Now, I'm gonna say this right now. Floyd Schofield's father, Teofimo Sr., Bill Haney, John Fury, y'all got to get out of your son's careers, because y'all are just making it much, much worse. Honestly, all of y'all are making it bad. You people talk the loudest junk, and then your son's got to go handle your mess and clean it up. It's got to stop. Honestly, these fathers are insane. Why? I don't understand why everybody's father can't be like Lomas and just shut up and let him fight. I don't understand why it can't be like that. I don't understand why these fathers decide they're going to come in and start doing all the talking for their son when they know dang well they're not going to be in the ring. If you're going to do all that talking as a father, you better step into the ring with the other guy's father. That's all I got to say. So overall, like as a man, if you're talking crap about my kid, I don't care if I'm not heavily involved in like my son's career. You're talking crap about my kid, and I'm gonna tell you, hey, look, our kids are gonna fight, but we can step into the ring and handle this ourselves. You got to do something, because these fathers, they're getting unreal now. But overall, it is unfortunate. It is sad that what happened to Kid Austin, but at the same time, I want to know what happened within 24 hours. Like, what happened within 24 hours to this kid look completely healthy in the ring, sitting down, all the way to here he is with a bunch of needles in his body, sleeping in a hospital bed. What happened? Like, did he just? I still don't even have the news. Like, did he have a heart attack? Did he just faint, pass out? Some people say that he was dehydrated. Who knows what happened, honestly. But overall, it just sucks. Honestly, it really does suck, because it would have been a good win for Shakur Stevenson. This was, I feel like, what Shakur needed to, gain some credibility. Now he's going up against I forgot the guy's last name. I know his first name was Josh. Yeah. And then as far as what I know, they had two potential opponents I read about it, but I don't know if the one he's fighting now, was that the one who had like 4 knockouts? The one he's fighting now, or was that?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all he has.
Yeah. So you're fighting a guy with no power, so that's already going to be the excuse coming in. You knocked out a guy with no power. He had no threat to you. So it's unfortunate. It really is. I don't think Shakur is going to get any credit for this win, really.
What if he don't knock him out?
Oh, that's it. That's it. I mean, Top Rank couldn't save his career. Matchroom definitely ain't going to be able to save it. He ain't going to get no fight. He better go in there and knock him out. It better be an early knockout, too.
Ricky, what happened?
Man, I do hope Kid Austin, whatever's going on, hope he pulls through and get better. But I gotta agree with Mario. Somebody need to put a muzzle on his daddy, for real. His daddy. I done watched him tweet and seen videos. He done blamed Snack for poison. He done said somebody stole them passports before they even got down there. He done said somebody called their house and got their house swatted. This man need a bit of muzzle put on him ASAP. Like, he even said somebody he got wiped down with some cream, and some cream got him sick or something like that. Somebody need to put a muzzle on his daddy, for real, with all the conspiracies. That is insane. And
not for nothing too, but Floyd Schofield, he also admitted that he doesn't even control his own social media. His father does. Mm-hmm. So when you really look at it that way, the kid doesn't even have his own control over his social media. And yeah, I don't know. And then he blamed like Victor Conti and Snack, which I'm not a big fan of Snack. I'm not personally. But then he goes around and he's like, oh, you know what? We shouldn't blame Shakur. We shouldn't blame Snack. Blah, 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 blah. We wish him the best. And I'm like, look, I'm like, Floyd's dad, just please be quiet.
Yes.
Cause you're not helping your son at all when you talk like this.
But it's not just him though. His son has been an interview. Kill Austin is in agreement with him on some things too. About the molding camp and going through. They was on the way to the airport and they had to go through like 5 rental cars. So it's actually both of them. So something is going on mentally with both of them.
I mean, you know how these boxing fathers are. They like once they say something, they just somehow lodge it into their son's head, and then their son's head. Like if you notice, from Tio to Devin to Floyd's father to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, it's a little different. There's been times where Tyson Fury kind of pushed back his father and was like, "Hey," kind of piped down a little bit. But if you're looking at Devin and Tio specifically, they never disagree with their dads. No matter what, no matter how wrong the dad is, they never disagree with him. It's always like, let's just roll with what he says. Put some accountability on your father.
Yeah, that's what they definitely need to do. I will admit, Bill sometimes definitely need to put a muzzle on too.
We Bill a whole nother 45 minutes of airtime because Bill was on a whole. Bill talking about the whole Ryan situation and then going on live and doing some substance. Like it just didn't make sense to me. None of it made sense to me. Then you pocket watch it. Bill, shout out to Dave, man. You put Bill in the pocket watching Bill in the doghouse, man. Shout out to Dave for doing
Pocket watching Bill.
But yeah, it's that. Yeah, I'm with y'all, man. If you're gonna promote the fight. But they go a little extra with it. The whole rubbing on cream and now he's sick. Again, Kid Austin, we hope you feel better. But this was a fight for me as far as being on in the red corner to see Kid go out there and shock the world and beat up Shakur. So now I can stop hearing Ty talk about how he think he gonna beat Tank. That's what I was waiting for. But it's not gonna happen. So I gotta wait for another person to do it because we already know them two are never gonna fight. Tank is never gonna fight Keyshawn and he's never gonna fight Shakur. So as a Tank fan, I'm upset.
And we can't sleep on Josh Padley. One, because I'm pretty sure Shakur did not prepare to fight for this person. Another thing is too, when you have there have been many times in boxing when you have a random last minute opponent that shows up and the opponent ends up with the victory. Padley might got padlocks in his gloves. You might not know. I'm just saying.
Ty sleeping on Shakur's.
I'm sleeping on Padley.
Oh, you see how you put your hands together? That's how Shakur put his gloves together when his fights come on.
Well, I mean, we're gonna see, man. This was definitely rated as one of the best boxing cards in a while, and the fact that this even happened is a letdown for us. So it's better than watching C-class fighters right in their right boots. Yeah.
Hold on. Before we go to the next segment, Mario, what do you think of Boots?
I like Boots, honestly. I like them. When originally before Chukujan kind of like displayed some like holes in his game, even Avanesian, he displayed like tiny holes, but he reminded me of Roy. It's just the way he fought. I'm not saying he's like Roy level. There's nobody Roy level. Like let's keep it a buck. There's nobody Roy Jones Jr. level, but he reminded me a little bit of Roy the way he fought. The only difference was he wasn't at Roy's level, and those weaknesses are starting to kind of show themselves. Now, I interviewed a 147 pounder as of right now, Trayshawn Wiggins. He fought Hitchens back when he was at 140. He fought Chris Howard, who fought Broner and everything like that. And he told me he's like honestly, he's like, I don't see what's so special on Boots. He said, I don't see it. So there's a lot of like skepticism about Boots. I like Boots. He is one of my favorite fighters to watch. I just want to see him pick it up. That's it.
I'm gonna ask you another question though. This is a good one. Shakur at 135, does he fight? Does he only fight C-class fighters?
135 as of right now, I would say yes. But at the same time, I can't fully blame it on him because when you're under the top rank, you fight who they give you. So it's like you go from Yofino.
No time. Let Mario talk.
Leo Santos, the C-class fighter.
Yes.
I can't tell. He didn't really.
He beat Rayo.
Still, I don't know. I still say C class. Hey, I haven't seen De Los Santos fight any big names after that. Like, I mean, I got to see De Los Santos back in that ring. I got to see him back in that ring. At least put him up against somebody like Zepeda. So put him up against somebody who's a challenge and like an actual. Like, I'm not saying Arreo isn't. He beat Arreo. Congratulations. But I got to see him. I got to see him go up again. I got to see him go up against somebody else. You know, but De Los Santos. Let me say this. He might, as of right now. He's probably a C-level fighter.
Yes.
His talent, though, is potentially a lot bigger than that. I just got to see, because De Los Santos is a threat. He was dangerous for Shakur. I just got to see him go up against somebody else. That's it. I just got to see more out of De Los Santos.
And he keep bringing up De Los Santos. De Los Santos got bluffed with someone with a broken hand. Stop bringing him up. He's a C-class fighter.
That's why.
Oh, another thing. This is the other question. All right. This to be fair. Boots at 147. Does Boots only fight C-class fighters?
Yes.
Okay, great. And look, ain't it the same reason why Shakur fights C-class fighters? It's not his fault.
No. I mean, Matchroom could do a lot better of it. In my opinion, I don't say this a lot because I do think Eddie Hearn is really good with Matchroom and very good with his fighters. But if I was Boots Ennis, dude, I'm leaving Matchroom. Like I'm leaving. There's no point in staying at this point. It's clear that Eddie Hearn does not have any plans for him. So I'm leaving Matchroom. Honestly, you can't just keep pairing me on the same car with Jesse Rodriguez. And they're not doing Jesse Rodriguez a favor either. So but different story, obviously.
They need to pull up my Matchroom rant. Go ahead, put that back up. That was good.
You said sorry about that, man.
Oh, shoot. You can give and take. It's a give and take situation.
Okay. So look, before we roll into the upcoming fighters, right? Because that was good. Ricky found a way to make Top mad, but also try to even the score. That's what you did there. So Mario, man, this is your first time on In the Red Corner. This is not your first time on the actual network. So I'm telling the people to follow you and make sure my spell check is right. I got bad eyes at times. But I want to ask you a few questions. So one, where can the people find your show? How did you start the show, or what was the motivation to start it?
So the motivation to start it, me and Breezy, I was on an app and I met Breezy through that app and we just started talking about boxing nonstop and we were like, we should make a podcast. And then we decided to make it. Now, for those who don't know, me and Breezy, we're still cool. We're still friends. I actually talked to him last night. Breezy's dream was never to be a podcast host. Breezy's dream is to be a drummer. So people don't realize that, like that's his dream, to drum. He loves it. That's his passion. I can't knock him for it. He drums for like church every Sunday, for a church service every single Sunday. He wants to do more with it. So wish him nothing but the best. But for me, my dream has always been, do exclusive interviews with athletes. And when I started this podcast, I was like, I've done the podcast thing before, had a podcast when I was in college, and I wanted to start my own. I wanted to have my own creative control and like my own ideas. So that's how the Puncher's Point started. I found out a catchy name to call it. It was the Puncher's Point, the 2 P's, kind of like, it's kind of catchy. So I just decided to roll with it. And now originally it was to kind of help myself getting some jobs in the career that I want. But as I continue it, it's been a passion for me. I love it. Honestly, I treat it like a third job. I do it for free. And then honestly, out of the 3 jobs I have, including this is the most fun. It makes me the most happy. So, and as far as where you can find me, Instagram, The Puncher's Point. I'm also on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Reddit, Discord, which is having a little bit of problems right now. We'll get that fixed, and Threads. So definitely check me out over there, and of course, obviously YouTube.
Okay. And how often do you drop episodes?
Every other day. Technically, all depends, but I would like to say probably like 2 or 3 episodes a week. Whenever there's a prediction, a fight coming there, we like to do the prediction episode. I prefer to do it like a week before the actual fight happens. But yeah, whenever there's news, definitely tune into the Puncher's Point within the 24 hours. Because I'm definitely gonna get it out within those 24 hours. But overall, average 2 to 3 episodes a week.
All right, fellas, y'all got anything? I got one more question before we roll to the up and coming.
I'm good.
Are you good?
I'm good.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you one more thing because you said you started a podcast before. So how did you land on boxing? Like you said you want to interview athletes, because that could have been a wide spectrum. You could have been doing golf, table tennis. They got so many sports out there now. So how did you land and stick with boxing?
So boxing has always been my favorite sport ever since I was like 5. it's always been my favorite. My favorite movie is Rocky. Like that's always been like boxing has always been like the niche I loved, and I stepped away from it a little bit, like around like middle school and high school. The Floyd Pacquiao fight kind of brought me back in, and then when I was in high school, I had a friend named Anthony. Shout out to Anthony. He really followed the sport, and he started telling me about guys like Tyson Fury, Lomachenko, and this was when Tyson Fury was coming back into the sport. I followed a little bit at that time. I followed up a little bit on like Adrian Broner and Deontay Wilder. So I was a big PBC guy, but when he started telling me about these other guys, Tyson Fury, Lomachenko, Anthony Joshua at the time, I started like really taking a look at them, and then the interest just started building from there. But boxing has always been my favorite sport. Honestly, I've always loved the history behind it. And as far as doing the exclusive interviews for athletes, I mean, it's still out there. Any athlete, I don't care. You can put me. The thing is, like, I want to be fair. I want to be honest. I want to create a story. Whatever interview I'm doing, you can put me up in front of anybody. I don't care whether it's Michael Jordan, LeBron, Tom Brady. You go to baseball, Ohtani. You can go hockey, Gretzky. I don't care. Whoever you want to put me in front of, I'm going to make sure I get a good interview out of it. But this is the puncher's point. This really helps me as far as like, learning to speak in front of that screen, and also just being prepared for whatever topic I got coming up. So it really does. It really is going to help me for the future. I truly believe it. And I'm not planning on giving up this. If I do somehow, by the grace of God, if I do make it, I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving this up. I'm going to try to put this to a bigger platform, a bigger place. Like if Fox picked me up, I'm going to try to bring it over there. ESPN, they ain't got no boxing show right now ever since Kellerman left. So
that is
whatever
true.
opportunity presents itself, Barstool, whatever, I'm definitely going to make sure this gets picked up with it.
All right, man. From your mouth to God's ears, man. I just had to ask that right quick for everybody. Come on in, like, man, y'all had a whole guest. We didn't even learn about him. You said Boots a C-class fighter. I mean, no, not Boots. He fights C-class fighters. My bad, Boots. Don't come find me.
Don't forget Shakur.
I ain't got too much to say about Shakur, man. I think he told Kid Austin fake like he's sick, but we gonna talk about other fights. Ricky, this is your segment, man. Take it away.
All right, so we got upcoming fights that in the red corner wants to highlight that we really, really want to see. So February 22nd, Saudi Arabia, the Zone pay-per-view. We have the first title fight, outdo Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol. 12 rounds for Beterbiev's undisputed light heavyweight championship. Fellas, we already know. Everybody say it in unison. Beterbiev.
Now you know.
I thought I was going. Oh, okay. So we got Ty Bivol. Of course, you already know what I got. Beterbiev. Mario.
I got Beterbiev winning this.
Yeah, Ty.
Mm-hmm.
Tomo.
I'm going with Acho.
Oh, okay. Moving on. Look. We got the next title fight on the same card. We got Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker. 12 rounds for Dubois' IBF heavyweight title. I got Dubois.
I had Parker, and then Ricky gave me a little good piece of knowledge, or a little good piece of a turnaround.
You done gave these people free promotion with that stuff, man.
Now listen. I'm just saying, if Joseph Parker goes in there and he beats Dubois and he becomes champion, Ricky, you're gonna get a nice little Boys in the Hood meme right in that group chat. Now, Ricky, you're gonna get it. Like, I'm gonna make sure you know that you screwed up my prediction, but I got Dubois.
I'm going with Dubois.
I'm going with Parker.
Always got to be the odd man out.
It's his namesake.
But Ty being Ty, moving on.
I pick winners.
Let's go to the next fight, man. He said pick winners.
Oh yeah, okay. That's debatable. Anyway, we have next title fight. We have Shakur Stevenson versus Josh Padley. Who do we have winning for Stevenson's WBC lightweight title?
Josh Padley by 1 second knockout.
Hey, he almost had me, boy. I was like, what?
Yeah, I'm playing. I can't say that with a straight face. Me and Breezy, when we originally when Teofimo fought Steve Claggett, for the whole entire every single time we mentioned like great fighters, we would be like in the GOAT, Steve Claggett, and we would just like make fun of how like they would just pick these rando fighters. But no, in reality, I got Shakur Stevenson, and it better end by knockout. I'm just saying that right now.
Let's hope. I got Shakur. Ty?
Shakur, sleep number 5.
All right, because of time,
Did you ever see his
I'm not even
hand?
gonna drag this out.
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not even.
Did you ever see the clip of this hand?
Yeah.
You think a sleep number? Okay.
He said
Alright.
sleep number 5. I got Shakur winning this one by decision. He gonna
Unanimous?
he gonna mess up our night, make us watch this long fight for no reason.
All right. So this one, I'm not gonna lie. I'm almost excited to see this one as the main event, and that's the Virgil Ortiz versus Israel Madrimov, and this is gonna be 12 rounds for the vacant WBC junior middleweight interim title. And I think it's gonna be a very explosive fight. And I'm going with Ortiz. I'm hoping Ortiz pull this one through.
Going with Madrimov.
You going with Madrimov?
Yeah.
Mario?
God, that's tough.
Yeah, see?
Oh, you know what? I never do this, and this is gonna be wrong. I'm gonna go draw.
Ooh.
I never do that.
The first.
But
Second.
geez,
On the
God,
red corner.
God, I can see that being.
The second.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but I never saw. I feel like in order to beat Madrimov, you really gotta like pressure. You really have to pressure him. You gotta make him like break that awkward fighting style that he has. But at the same time, Bohacha gave Ortiz a fight, so it's really tough. If I had to lean, if draw was like unacceptable, you gotta pick one. I'm gonna go Virgil. I'm a slightly go Virgil in my opinion. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna go Madrimov. I feel like that style is just too awkward for Virgil, in my opinion. I had to switch it up a little bit. I feel like that style is just gonna be too complicated. If you couldn't crack Bud with it, you're not gonna crack. Virgil's got to be. There's no way Virgil would be able to outstand that type of style. But it's so dead even. I'm leaning towards draw.
I'm picking Ortiz.
And we got Attorney Bailey. Ortiz more athletic. Ortiz has a slight edge. Yeah, that's why I had to pick him too. I agree, Attorney Bailey.
I told you, see Mario, see what happened? They agreeing now. They usually don't agree too much on these segments. All right.
Oh yeah, they're like yin and yang. I saw the difference. I saw the difference in the Bivol Beterbiev true prediction when I did on my when I did on the podcast. I saw a little bit. I saw it a little bit. I'm gonna be honest.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. Wait, before we go here, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Virgil's more athletic than Madrimov. I think Madrimov's just smart. Madrimov like, strategically, he has like one of the most awkward fight styles I've ever seen, but it works so well. And you could tell like and I said it right when we did the prediction episode. I said Bud's gonna have a problem with this guy. Bud will have like this is going to decision because you could even tell Bud was kind of puzzled at times. He was like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to even like engage with this guy. Virgil was that type of guy that's like, you know what? Like, see, Bud was very cautious, and Bud was like trying to strategically break him down. Virgil, I have a feeling he's going to go in there. He's going to be like, screw being strategic, screw just trying to figure him. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to try to test his jaw, and we haven't seen that from Madrimov yet. So, interesting fight for sure. It's the most interesting fight on this card. Put it that way.
I switched my pick. I pick Madrimov.
That's the first two. What's going on? Hold on, Ty.
I like that.
What made you change your mind that fast?
I started thinking and he was talking about how when he fought Bud and how he wouldn't attack because he's being smart. And I'm like, Ortiz not gonna do that. Ortiz gonna attack, and I think Ortiz gonna get caught.
See what a C-class fighter can do?
He's gonna get caught. He's gonna attack, so yeah.
And
Don't think about it.
Madrimov gonna beat them arms up too, so
yeah.
What's going on here? Hold up. Go ahead, Ricky. If you about to switch, I don't know what's in the universe.
I'm gonna go with Madrimov.
Hey, we got Madrimov with a sweep.
Well, Attorney Bailey said he got Ortiz.
Oh, four out of 5.
Yeah,
That's you know what 4 out of 5 is. 4 out of 5 is like the dentist recommends. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I gotta go Madrimov. I ain't even talk about that.
yeah, we picked Crest toothpaste. He picked Colgate.
Exactly. This had blood more athletic and can punch. Okay. What we got up next?
Oh, and the next one, a nice good fight will be February 24th, Tokyo, ESPN Plus title fight, Nakatani versus David Cuellar. I might butcher that. Forgive me, David. 12 rounds for Nakatani's WBC bantamweight title.
Nakatani.
Nakatani.
I had to say it before I said something else.
This better be a sweep. Like,
you know, you gotta be careful with Ty. See, Ty, you gotta be careful with this guy right there. He Ty.
Nakatani.
Okay, see,
Yeah,
Ty won't be funny.
I will say Nakatani as of right now, he is probably top 5 my favorite fighters to watch easily. I just honestly.
Okay, and that's it for in the red corner upcoming fights for the remainder of February.
Hey, well, fellas, man, we survived another episode. But before we get out of here, I'm gonna say shout out to Dave for putting this in the comments. You know, he does in the red corner with me on Tuesday. He does the main show, and he also has a show on the network, Dave's Doghouse. Make sure y'all check that out. All the shows are in the description below. We have quite a few on the network, but hey, fellas, we're 25 subscribers away from 500.
Let's go.
Yeah, I know what happened after we get to 500.
Yeah,
We start acting like Floyd and start picking out fights.
yeah, we can be 49-0.
You know, I'm just saying. So I just wanted to throw that out there, man. Shout out to y'all, man. The hard work that we've been doing as far as keeping this entertainment going, and shout out to you, Mario, for making these two brothers agree. You know, this is one of them episodes.
I didn't try to do that. It just happened.
So, hey, David, we talked about that in the first segment. So just rewind it back, and we'll tell you more so about our opinions on that fight right there. And Attorney Bailey, we're gonna let you get this question off before we get out of here because it's Wednesday, man. I gotta eat. So what you got, Attorney Bailey? Let us know. And shout out to AJ. You know, she said enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. All right, man. Because Ty is definitely entitled to change his opinion. So while we wait for Attorney Bailey to bring his question up, hopefully he does it while we're in the midst of these final interviews. So hey, Mario, this is your first time on In the Red Corner. Don't make it your last time because we understand you love to talk boxing and you are one of our most active people in the boxing chat. So how did you feel this episode went?
No, I loved it, man. Obviously, y'all brought such a great energy, and overall, that boxing chat in itself brings such a great energy. You know, I've been in chats where like people want to just like when they disagree, they just want to be insulting and they want to bicker. You know, it almost turns into like some like Real Housewives or like Jersey Shore type stuff. But the boxing chat's amazing. In the red corner, y'all are doing some amazing things. You know, so I was like, I had to make a collab. I had to collab with these guys numerous times. But overall, great episode, honestly, and it's the same vibe when you're doing with all the other episodes that are in Refuse or all the other shows, excuse me, where Refuse to Lose. Like I even felt that same vibe when I gave like the Viking steak. So overall, it's a great vibe. Y'all are doing a great job, and congratulations on almost hitting 500. Keep it up, guys.
Thank you.
Ty, how did you feel this? Oh, hold on, Ty. I knew he was gonna do this. So let's do this. We're gonna finish the closing interview for the fight, and then we're gonna
ask for Ty.
So if you want to address it in your closing,
Ty, you gotta answer that one, Ty.
So
hold on, everybody. You know the drill. Spotlight. Ty.
Who has Karen beat?
You can't answer a question with a question.
I'm glad Ty did that because Attorney Bailey, click the link below, become a member so you can join the boxing chat so we can finish this discussion. See what you did there, Ty. So Ty, how you feel this episode went?
I think it went good, but I don't know if you want to bring it up or not, but we have a special show coming on Saturday. We're going to do commentating for the fight coming up. So Make sure y'all watch for that. But I think the show went good. I think it's kind of weird that me and Ricky agreed, but I don't know. I think he's been drinking something. I don't know. Usually be thinking wrong, so I don't know what's going on with him.
See. Well, this was a shocking episode. I see. Puncher's Point brought a lot of peace and tranquility to this episode. Yeah, I'm satisfied with this episode. Hopefully we can definitely collab more and see what the future holds.
Definitely. And
Sure, we'll definitely set it up.
yeah, I was just about to say, man, I appreciate how you in the boxing chat, how you took and grasped the opportunity to say, hey man, you talk boxing, I talk boxing, let's get on here and talk boxing together. And because just like we already have a few other debates that we have going on already in the comments, because Attorney Bailey is not about to let y'all rock with that Karen comment about him being a C-class fighter. We can't wait to do more episodes with you. We also can't wait to do more episodes with us, because again, this is a revolving door. Same thing for all the shows on the network, because once you become a member, you can literally jump on any show from the network. So the few episodes that came out that had Ricky and Ty on it, they're already out. They're on YouTube right now, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can definitely catch them if you guys want to know like the specific episodes. We did Shakur versus Floyd Schofield, which obviously isn't happening right now, but they did the predictions for that. Ty couldn't make it for the Dubois and Parker, so it was me and Ricky for that. Still a great episode. And then Ty came back for Beterbiev and Bivol too. So definitely check out those 3 episodes. That's where you're going to find the In the Red Corner Puncher's Point collab on my channel, at least. And last but not least, stay on point with the Puncher's Point. Had to bring that out there.
There we go. And we do, like Ty said, on Saturday, we're doing live reactions to the fights as they're happening. So we're going to stream it live. You want to come back on? We'll drop the link for you so you can come back on and drop a commentary. Is it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I specifically, because I love this card so much, when I found out about it, I specifically took that day out of work to watch it. I don't do that with boxing fights, but I was like, I had to call. I'm not coming into work for that day. Yeah. Too many great fights. So you might catch. You'll definitely catch me on there for sure.
Sweet. And I want to let the bosses know right now, because this is live and we are definitely getting out of here. If this is on Saturday, okay, we're watching the fights live, so you may get some different reactions from us. Okay, so you may hear more bleeps. I'm just letting y'all know now. I'm pre-warning y'all. Definitely. So with that being said, this is In the Red Corner, and we catch y'all again on Saturday.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.